Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of Pixel Journey. This week is all about an adorable indie Metroidvania that I got to play recently thanks to the people over at Minimap, and that is Crypt Custodian. So I would like to thank Minimap for sending me over a Steam review code, that way I could play this game. So Crypt Custodian is a Metroidvania game where you play as Pluto, a poor cat that has now been sent to the afterlife. Now, what happens whether you go inside the palace where all of the good ghosts go, or outside the palace with all the bad ghosts? It is up to one frog, Kendra. Now, with everything looking good, Kendra looking through all the photos of your life, everything seemed set for you to go inside the palace. Until Kendra finds the most recent photo. When you enter the afterlife, you find a broom. And what do the pesky instructions tell you? Destroy some statues to continue your way. Whose statues were those? Any guesses? Yes, they were Kendra's. Now, Kendra is not too happy about you smashing up her statues, so she declares you a very bad cat, a very terrible ghost, and you are now banished to the outside of the palace, where you shall use that handy broom to clean up trash for the rest of eternity. Now, what does one cat to do when they are banished to custodial work for the rest of the afterlife? Well, you should still find time to meet people outside of regular work hours. Most doctors recommend about 10 ghost friends to accompany you in the afterlife, so 10 it shall be. The first one that I believe many others found is another little frog named Pebble. Pebble is one of my favorites, I will say. Now, Pebble starts the emotional journey for most of us by saying that they have left behind Pearl, their friend, their I don't really remember. But no matter what, by the end of their little monologue, you desperately want to help them get inside this palace and find what is called the Crystal Mirror. Now, this Crystal Mirror is very important, and it is what drives most of the plot in here. The Crystal Mirror allows for the ghosts to venture down to Earth, and they see the ones that they have left behind on the other side. Even though the living can't see you, you can still be comforted by the fact that you can see and check on those still living that you've left behind. Now, after befriending Pebble, you see that you will need those 10 friends I mentioned that doctors recommend. Now, as you continue through, you will eventually find a fuzzy cat that looks like he stuck his tongue in a light socket, named Grizz. What is Grizz doing? Oh, just trying to dig away under a fence to break into the palace to get said mirror. Or just trying to break in because he doesn't want to be outside. Who wants to be outside the palace? That's not fair. But either way, what was once a solo mission by Grizz is talked and convinced into becoming an all-out 11 people total mission to try and overthrow the crown, Kendra and the palace. So you are now tasked with finding 8 more people to befriend and talk them into storming the castle. Now, with that as your motivation, explore a bunch of different rooms, because again, this is a Metroidvania. The map is huge. And also, in typical Metroidvania fashion, you will get stuck on cliffhanger puzzles that you don't have the right power-up for. So I also highly recommend visit every single room, look in every nook and cranny, look off the ledge if you hold the lever. I use a controller. Look off the side of the map. Now, trash is your currency, so whack every enemy and clean up every pile of trash. You can use the trash to trade for different buffs or power-ups through the Sinners Inn Tavern. A nice bird will offer you different dice. Yeah, there are a bunch of die for this. I don't know why, but I kind of love it. And it will give you different power-ups. From at full health, you can deal 30% more damage to people, to you can literally see stuff that isn't there to the normal eye. Get that. Use that. Look in every nook and cranny. Heads up, it's by Grizz. Check it. You literally need that for puzzles later on. So do try and grab as much trash as possible because, again, that will be very nice if you can pick up a power-up or two. Now, there's also a bunch of special attacks you can get to upgrade that nifty little broom of yours. I think I stuck with the blue attack for the entire time. You spin your brush around really fast and shoot stuff in diagonals. It's very useful. I actually very much liked it. But other than that, you're going to jump, dash, and fight your way through a bunch of rooms, each having their own unique set of monsters. I really like that. Very nice touch. Some, once you get further in, you will see the same move sets repeated similarly, kind of remixed versions. But again, the character design for them was phenomenal. Some of them were totally gross, and others were very cute. I liked the first area guy in little vase. I imagined it as like a goose or something. I don't know, very cute. Still my favorite to this day. But also, again, like I said 5 times already, and I'll say it 5 times more. This is a Metroidvania. So there are collectibles. Now those power-ups I was talking about earlier, you don't get to just equip them. No, that would be too easy. No, you need to get spirit points. They're scattered throughout. You can find them in a bunch of places. You can do a bunch of puzzles. There's time trial puzzles everywhere. There's also multiple rooms that will either have you fighting, just hopefully you don't die, or challenge rooms to where you can't take a hit. Both of those, you are limited to a single platform. You cannot leave. And it's also luckily not timed, but you can see all of the enemies. So it's either really good if there's only 3, or you're really screwed if it's like 12. So get a bunch of those because each different buff will have a set amount of points that it will take to equip it. But luckily, theoretically, you can get as many as you want. So you're not limited to like, say, 2 or 3. Now, when you're going to buy something at the Center's Inn, you might notice that really sick jukebox. Now, the problem is, starting off, it only has 1 tune, and it gets kind of repetitive. So while you're out, you can find different discs. Collect 20 of them, and finally, this place will have some kind of life in it. Now, moving on to my favorite collectible, a bunch of cats in vases. I'm not kidding. There's 20 kittens that are scattered throughout the map, stuck in vases. Smack the vase with your broom, set them free, and return to the mother cat, and she will give you a bunch of really great stuff, including, once again, something you literally need to progress the story. So look out for vases in very weird spaces. Now, this game really has a decently big focus on puzzles scattered throughout, more than I have seen. Granted, I haven't played a whole lot of Metroidvanias. This genre continues to confuse me. Like, I played all of an Ori game and I didn't get this confused with a puzzle at all. Now, you will get different abilities for your broom and also you yourself. Stuff like, oh, I can dash through the air. Very generic, very useful. Oh, I can throw my broom and teleport to the broom. Oh, I can dig underground. You will use these and eventually be able to unlock different areas and also free more things such as kittens or switches. And also, when I said that the cats were the last collectible, I lied. Now, they say a picture is worth 1,000 words. So for each friend, a good 3,000 words should be good. Each new friend you meet, for the total of, remember, 10, listen to those doctors, you will need to find 3 photos. This will depict early, mid, and death for each of your friends. So see how they lived, see how they died. Very poetic. Now, one of the best parts about this game is a lot of it I was hunting for characters while also trying to hunt for puzzle solutions, and the characters were great. Each of them were very, very different in their personality and how you got them to like become your friend. One of my favorites to become my friend was probably Mira, because I think they had the funniest dialogue and weird personality. Others were quite simple, just simply talking to them. So it does really range in variation, which I didn't mind. Not every friend do you need to jump through hoops and crawl through their slimy basement. But in the end, everyone wants that crystal mirror and they're tired of being trapped outside the palace. Now, some of these puzzles, they make you feel really smart, but also sometimes really dumb. There was an entire puzzle that I was stuck on for stream for probably a good 5 minutes before I decided this is too long to just stand here, looking like an idiot. And then later on, it's one of those you think about. And then it's like, Eureka! There's the answer. It was right in front of me the whole time. And others you look at and you just realize that this is the route you have to take, and it takes you 2 seconds. And then you feel like a genius. But there's a lot of puzzles in this game requiring you to hit some kind of object. In the beginning, it's a little ghost thing. In the end, it's a rock. And you have to hit certain things. The ghost, you need to send it to a different location and make it stay. Sometimes you need to light it on fire and hit it to a campfire. Others, you need to ricochet off of different towers. Very fun, very unique. Each stage is very different. My favorite was probably the ice snow one. And of course, what's an area without some boss? So each area, obviously, you go through, you find a friend, and then you have to beat up a giant monster. Now, these boss fights are kind of tough. I will say that. I lost quite a few times. I was never able to do a boss in a single run. I think the fastest was 3 times the charm, and at most I had to do it 12 times. There They are tough, and I do love the music when you hit the second phase of it, and the music speeds up and pitches higher like it's a Nightcore version of it. Love that. Love the throwback. But they each have their own actual, like, unique patterns that they use. They will be kind of similar to what their smaller counterparts in the area use, but ramped up to 10 and on acid. Very fun, very challenging. I love it when I can't just one hit a boss and do it in like 10 seconds on my first try. I love that. I love becoming slightly frustrated because I'm just like, I know I need to jump here, but I'm an idiot and I'm jumping too early. I love when you have to do a few times and you keep telling yourself, I'm just learning the strat. I'm learning their moveset. It's okay. It makes it more fun. It feels like I've earned the win once I've defeated it. Now, probably the saving grace for me and a lot of players like me that, one, have really bad memory, and two, get very lost. I know there's a map, but still, I get confused on where something I saw was. In the center zen, on the left side of the room, there's actually a machine that you can purchase tokens that will indicate a forgotten or missed item from a room that you've already been into, or an icon that shows you where your next main event is. Literal lifesaver. I would have been so stuck so early on without this. I probably started using the location token 3 hours in and used it several times. I think that's just a really great... I kind of viewed it as an accessibility tool, but it's up to you to decide whether or not you would also view it as that way. But I get very, very confused sometimes and I will overlook stuff. So having that at least send me in the right direction, I was able to go and check all of the different routes that could lead into that area. And I was eventually able to find it rather than just what I was doing before that, which was I was on the completely wrong side of the map. So I was never going to be able to progress. Now, if you are an achievement hunter or someone that just wanted to say get all of the cats because you're just a cat person, the lost item token or missed item token, it will show any of the collectibles. It will show the spirit points. It will show both of the challenge rooms. And also, as I'm talking, I forgot, there's also a bunch of giant skulls scattered around the map that will give you more challenges. Most of these dumb down to defeat 15 enemies as spikes chase you around, as you have 1 health, as they explode after death. Most of these, they're not super challenging, which is kind of why I forgot about them. They are fun, and they do give you a spirit point after, so do them. But yeah, you'll find them scattered throughout, and they can be indicated by this token. They can help find the discs, they can find the cats, and they can find photos. So again, these two things are super incredibly helpful. I cannot express how useful these things were for me in my playthrough. I literally, even with these, I had to look up a guide for a few of these to figure out what I was doing wrong. For those it turned out I forgot that I could use an ability in a certain way. You gotta get real creative with this game, or else you're gonna completely miss something. So yeah, make sure that you are going back into every region after you get a new broom power, because you can probably explore at least 1 or 2 more regions. So the cool thing about this is, one of the friends in the upper north, they run a little movie theater, and they give you a key, and the key unlocks 3 different areas. They're just little bonus rooms, but you get a movie reel, like one of those old school with like the film on it. And you get to fight a literal movie. It's, 4D, 5D. What happens when the monster jumps out of the screen and actually attacks you. So I thought that part was really neat, actually, even though that was just like part of it. But I did all of that. I made sure that I had the most that I could get at that point, or at least what I thought I could get at that point. But then once you're ready, you get to actually do the breaking into the palace. Now, once you go through the hole that Grizz has dug, you find out that this palace, which everyone was thinking was going to be beautiful, pristine, clean, and gorgeous, is actually just like a dumpster. There's dirt everywhere, trash scattered. The same trash that gets dumped outside the palace for you to clean. Now, luckily, the mirror is still there. It's actually quite easy to find and just steal. So while your 10 new friends work on trying to get the mirror, you are sent to scout ahead and help them find an exit. Now, you can steal the mirror, but you still gotta fight the frog. Kendra is not too happy with you coming into her home. The narcissistic frog is also not too happy by you calling her out on her trashy new place. You realize in these moments that Kendra's the only one living in the palace, and that she is very egocentric and thinks she's the only good ghost, and that all of you others just are so bad in comparison to me. So of course you're outside the palace. So what is left to do besides fight it out with fists? Now, I will say, I was not expecting to get my butt kicked so many times against Kendra. I came so very close to winning the fight several times. This is the fight that took me the longest, and it was so sad because I knew all of the attacks by the end of it, and I think I only got hit twice in my final fight, but it took me a while. It took a lot of precision, a lot of brain power. This and the little twin dashing monsters fight, where whenever you dash, they swap which you can hit. That was the second hardest fight. Probably. I don't know. They might swap. I don't know. But yeah, this was a very hard fight. I would agree this is a boss fight. I was very impressed. I liked it. But once you finish that, you finish off Kendra. Shocking. The palace is crumbling, because what else? Oh my god, the palace is crumbling. Persona 5? Anyway, you jump through the mirror. You jump through this crystal mirror, and everyone, as the credits roll, get these photos of them being with those loved ones that they left behind on the other side for just a night. And it is so sad yet so heartwarming, because you want them to be able to be with those people again, but you're still so glad that they at least got to spend a night with them. And once you're back, everyone's celebrating at the Sinner's Inn. You have brought together this entire afterlife, and they're all friends now thanks to you. This random cat who needs to brush up all the trash. But even though you can go into the VIP room and chill with the mice, that bouncer is totally biased, by the way, you still need to deal with one person. And that is a very sulky, very sad and depressed Kendra. Now, to get to Kendra is also one of the most challenging puzzles in this entire game. I had to look up a guide because I couldn't figure out this weird thing to get the cats to glow in front of the shrine. Turns out, spoiler, if you're also stuck, I was too, and I think most people will be, because it's so absurd. In the skills, with all of your die for your power-ups, you need to match them on the outer corners. You need all of them, which includes one that you get from the mother cat. So make sure that you get those kittens. Like I said, you need it for the story. But once you get that, you basically go in and you get this cool new ability to teleport to save points that you have not yet traveled to. So, shocking. You see that there is one more set of photos that you can fill in. Of course, those are Kendra's. You get to see what you expect, or at least what I expected, to be the very sad sob story of why Kendra became this way. And actually, you really don't get that. You get the story of a very spoiled frog that never grew up or had to face reality. Also, when you're going for the second room, make sure to hit Mira's basement first and grab the key. I got stuck on that because I didn't see it. Go grab the key first, and then go. And then once you have all three photos, you can actually enter into Kendra's sulking chamber, I think. I don't know, great name. And then you try and talk some sense into her, saying, all these ghosts, they're not bad. You can befriend them if you would talk to them. And I actually don't know if that's going to knock any sense into her, but you tried your best, and that's all you can do. And that's really all there is. That's kind of the end of the story. If you want to go for 100%, you can. There's still a few things that you need to knock out, including hitting 100% in the game, which is in the settings menu. You can see it right there. You can see all of your progress, which is very, very nice. You also have to do some boss rush stuff, take a boss out without damage, just a few little extra things. So I do believe that this is actually a plausible 100% run. So either way, I absolutely adored this game as someone who struggles with Metroidvanias to hell and back. I loved it. I thought that it was accessible for dumb people like me. And I think that this is actually, I would go as far to say, a good entry-level, beginner-friendly Metroidvania. If you are someone who wants to start dabbling in the genre, but maybe something like Hollow Knight is way too intimidating, me too. 4 hours in, that thing gave me a migraine. Maybe try Crypt Custodian, a very cute art style, very simple story, and overall, it has 2 very, very user-friendly tokens that can help guide you. Once again, love this game. Thank you so much, Minimap, for giving me the key to this, because I would not have touched this on my own because I'm scared of Metroidvanias. But great game. Highly recommend it. I don't know what else to say. Thank you so much if you watched this. Give me a like if you thought I did a good job, and if you don't want to lose me and want to see more of my gamer content, look through the channel and hit subscribe. Now, if you want to see me do things like play these games live before I do the reviews, you can click the link below to the channel support fairy, and that is where I do a bunch of Let's Plays and live streams. But other than that, comment down below what you think of Crypt Custodian, because I would love to see what other people are thinking of this game. Too many people are overlooking this game. I do know it just came out and it isn't any title, but I think it's a really good one that needs some more light on it. So thank you everyone who watched this. I hope you got something out of it, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye guys!